Right, yes, hello, and welcome back to Free Vinyl Discovery. This week we've got an artist that I am very familiar with, but an album that I have never heard before, so I'm very excited, and I just want to jump right into Face Value, the debut album by Phil Collins. I already own No Jacket Required on vinyl, and I also have But Seriously on CD. Where does this align with those two? Well, I would say somewhere in the middle, just. Let me go into more detail. In terms of the physical album itself, it's in very good condition. I'm very pleased to report we have another gatefolded album, which I have spoken about really liking in the Genesis album, so seeing him do it here is nice. It's great fun because there's loads of different pictures on there and it gives credits for each of the individual songs. This album is definitely a big collaborative effort and I really like that he's giving spotlight to those who helped him construct it. It also plays perfectly. I'm really pleased to report it's an awesome album to have in terms of the physical sense. Of course, it opens with the immensely popular In the Air Tonight, which of course is Phil Collins' drum work at his best. I think a lot of the songs do go on a little bit too long. In the Air Tonight definitely earns its length, but on the A-side we have Hand in Hand, which is 5 minutes 20, which is quite a long closer and not one of my favourites on the album. There's another one that pushes a 5-minute mark, If Loving Me Is Easy. Again, I didn't particularly like that one either, but some of the shorter tracks I did find a lot more enjoyable, like Behind the Lines, which is a collaboration in the writing sense with his Genesis colleagues, which is great fun. This Must Be Love is pretty good as well, the track that follows In the Air Tonight immediately, but the rest of the A-side wasn't my cup of tea. The B-side, I think, picks up a lot more. The big highlight for me on the B-side was the closing track, Tomorrow Never Comes, which is Lennon McCartney's song, so low-hanging fruit there, really. I was bound to like it, but I do think that it's a really good cover, and one that's not really talked about much. Highly recommend. Phil Collins is up there with my favourites. I think he is a astounding drummer. I think that he really took the gauntlet in Genesis, and if you've seen my commentary on Genesis on Tom's channel, William Schmilliams, then you'll know that I favoured his era more than Peter Gabriel's, although I did get a lot of enjoyment out of that too. I think that Phil Collins is really good. I think it's good that he went off and did his own thing, because this is quite different from Genesis in my opinion. I think he definitely adopted his own sound and found his feet quite quickly with it. I think No Jacket Required is a bit more developed, but I enjoyed this a bit more. But Seriously is a little bit weaker in terms of song quality, I think, but the messages in there I feel very profound. And I would probably argue that I'd enjoy that more, even though I think this is a better put together album. I still am yet to listen to Hello, I Must Be Going, but I've seen it at record fairs so many times, they seem to be 10 a penny. And I think maybe that's not going to play it in good stead when I come around to listening to it. Things feel like it's going to be a weak album for some reason, but that's prejudice. We'll see how that stacks up when I do inevitably get around to listening to it, because Tom and I have shared an interest in diving Collins at some point, and I've already got a bit of a head start, and I am very pleased to own this on vinyl, because it is iconic, let's face it. Even though I think this is not an album I would frequently go back to, I do see a lot of merit in it, and I'm really pleased that it exists for the sake of Phil Collins putting his work out there away from Genesis and just being his own man and making himself a name away from just being the guy that replaced Peter Gabriel at the front of Genesis. What's your opinion on Phil Collins? What's your opinion on this album? Let me know in the comments below. Looking forward to seeing the discussion. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next week.